What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. You know what time it is. It's time to get into some of that dirty stuff out there in YouTube land. However you are, however you found me, I hope that you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for being here. Tonight, we are getting right back into some of the dirty stuff. I know it's been a little while. I know I've been a little bit absent. I've been working a lot. It's no excuse. Tonight, we're getting right into wherever it's at. That's about as much fun as it's going to be. That's about all the laughter we can do. Because tonight, we have a lot of heavy content matter to chew through, so to speak. 2005's Feed is a film that really takes itself seriously. It is really kind of the tale of two films, if you will. And it is not going to be for everybody. Most people, when you're watching this film, are going to think that there's something wrong with you, that you've got some sort of new tendency, something you're really exploring, some sort of kink, some sort of fetish, something that's just a little bit weird about you. I tried to explain this to a coworker, and they immediately thought that I'd lost my damn mind. I was like, yeah, no, it's this horror movie. It's about feederism, and it kind of like explores the subculture, and it's actually pretty cool. They kind of really get into this, and they just looked at me like my head was on fire, like I just decapitated myself or my head was on fire. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Before we get too far, thanks for being here. Let's check out Feed. Now, what we're dealing with here is a case of pure perversion, overconsumption, a lack of self-determination, indulgence, and really just a lack of any sort of cardiovascular health and happiness whatsoever. And I kind of love it. Just kind of. Feed from 2005 is a title from Leonard, known for Lawnmower Man, released as a cardiographic attack of the senses. Right out of the gate, you can tell that this film is fixing to get just violent, twisted, and downright nasty, using classic doo-wop and oldies to his machinations and malevolent intentions. Grab yourself a TV tray, a fully insulated soda slug and 44-ounce beverage of your choosing, and a handful of those good-for-nothing paper-thin Arby's napkins and mouth wipers, and let's fucking eat. Feed is a film. It's dripping with more than just grease and salt from the burgers and the fries. It's got style over substance. Quick camera cuts kind of open up to our lead character Michael, and we're introduced to this POV shot of him in his car, going through random fast foods, drive-thrus, and takeouts, and this heavy on the body horror film from Australia really knows how to set a tone. From the very beginning, you can just tell that something messed up is going to happen. As we enter our way through an apartment hallway, the camera establishes and brings us into frame with a woman who is, I guess I'll just say, in a very, state of complete relaxation, if you will. The room glows with these pinks and these reds, and we are introduced to Deidre. And today is a very special day for her, okay? In this film, it isn't because she is handcuffed. She has a relatively relaxed and comfortable lifestyle, and she appears to consume and enjoy some, hot bags, okay? And she hungry. And there's nothing wrong with that. She says for the first time, "Feed me," for which she is obliged. This film, though, is really telling two stories, okay? One is the online world of internet feederism, something that I learned quite a bit about from this film. Feederism is an act where an individual engages with a willing participant to technically have some sort of kink involving feeding food to someone for pleasure. And if that's your game, I'm not here to kink shame, okay? Let's just move along. The second part of this story follows this detective, this department that's responsible for tracking down individuals who have taken such fetishes, whatever, too far. Okay, they've just taken it way too far, to the point of exploitation. Okay, and that's where this film does most of its dirty business. That's where this film kind of shines. Okay, so much so that in the first 5 minutes, I had a Mary and Dora cannibal flashback, an absolute cannibal flashback that it just completely caught me off guard. I was like, oh no, it's going to be one of those kind of movies. I wasn't prepared for this. I thought it might be a little bit twisted, a little bit fucked up, a little bit, I didn't really want to see that today. But the first 5 minutes, there is a scene that just shut me the hell up. I sat up and I was like, what are we watching here? What's going to happen? Through the eyes of the law, a couple is caught in a bathtub in the first 5 minutes. And one of them has a serving plate, okay, a tray, if you will, and the other one is willingly relinquishing a large slice from his thigh, laughing and pleading with this detective, this officer, "I want to be eaten." That's how the film starts, and they're frying things in a frying pan, right, in the kitchen. That is straight out of Cannibal, straight out of that Muse story. It got me. That scene, I think, is the most effective scene in this film. I Want to Be Eaten sets a tone. Sets a tone that this film is not to be fucked with. And you can tell that that's why Unearthed put this thing out, okay? If you're wondering why, or were concerned if this Unearthed film feature would match some of the rest of the catalog as far as the, extreme things that they put out, fear not. This is a catalog that has August Underground, a Serbian film still with the slip. This film brings the depressing and it brings the disturbing. Now, I gotta say a bad word. FAS, or FAS. In this particular film, it stands for Fat Admiration, right? FAS, people that are fat admirationists, I guess, and people who are way into it. Large folks wearing very little clothing, usually posing with a hero, a po' boy, some sort of meat sandwich, right? You kind of get the idea. Fat bottom girls in this film make the rockin' world go round, and the feeders in these relationships, the feeder demands control. To a point to where they overserve, to a point to where the victim can never even leave the house, okay? The gainer gives up complete control to the feeder, and further down the spiral we go, right? This film involves a lot of internet sleuthing, a lot of big-time detective work. We are given a ringside seat, a table for one, a napkin, a bib, an extra fucking ramekin of ranch to help get up and close and personal with these folks and their ridiculous appetites. Consumption is evolution. If you are what you eat, what are you when you are eaten? This film begs to question. This right here is the kind of film you get if you take Joel Schumacher and 8mm and you load them up on Blow and In and Out and just kind of see what happens. This right here is the darker part of humanity and the World Wide Web, and in this film, you feel it, dude. You absolutely feel it. I mean, this film even gives you the stats where we're dealing like with the Lizzo trading card, if you will. Apparently that is pretty important to this online community. Every week, Lizzie, Lucy, Deidre, whoever is carefully weighed, measured, monitored for high blood pressure, cholesterol levels, HDL, right? A full workup, and then we get to see her vitals in real time. Now, I don't think this has ever really been done in a horror movie before, where there's kind of like, almost like a Deadpool, almost like something you can bet on, where there's real stats in real time, and people are kind of betting in this sick, kind of twisted game. And it's a very curious and a very smart touch, and I think that part is excellent. I don't think I've ever seen it. It's kind of cool, kind of creepy, but kind of brilliant at the same time. I don't know about this subculture of people either, but it sure looks like I'm watching a bunch of large, nude ladies to my wife if she's watching me watch this in the room. And that's just awkward. It's just awkward. Thanks, Brett Leonard, right? That is just damn uncomfortable, because so much of this film, we're feeding people their favorite foods in some sort of sick and twisted game, right? To try to see who will expire, who will die first. Is it a crime to feed someone? Is it a crime to starve someone? Can the subject matter be scary? Is it completely ridiculous and over the fucking top in every conceivable way? Yes. 100%. Still, there's some really smart and some really impressive shots as we go back and forth through this kind of cat and mouse game, between the detectives and learning who Michael and the twisted serial feeder really is. It all kind of unfolds in a sinister, boiling pace that may remind you of something like Seven, solid 2005 sounding score as well, with industrial and metal, the soundtrack and the scope, juxtaposed with this kind of bubblegum yummy in my tummy. I hate that damn song, kind of oldies and pop. It's very jarring to go from this like hard industrial metal to yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy. Feed ultimately tells a pretty solid and stylized horror thriller. Does it spend a little bit too much time investigating the character and the backstory of Michael that it does kind of focusing on the body horror, which I didn't expect to kind of miss as the film went on? Yeah, it does. I think that it kind of like lessens the effect when we've got like the middle half of this film where we're just following the detectives and we're learning about kind of the backstory of Michael and why he wants to feed all these women, till they die. I actually would rather have more time with like the psychological study of the females. It's weird to like not want to look at that, but also be kind of captivated to want to ask some questions. While we're kind of going back and forth with these detectives, it's a little tiresome. It's a little long in the tooth, I guess. And it's still, though, it has its charms. I'm not going to say that, you know, it's not fun. It's not that I didn't enjoy the film. It's different, man. There's not a lot of films like this. And the setups and the web that it kind of weaves through the World Wide Web, I guess, I'm recommending it. I'm going to recommend it for people who are into horror on the twisted and disturbing side, while also not still going like full gore and full body horror as much as I'd kind of prefer. And that's weird to say. That like I actually wanted more time with these females. That's weird to me, because in the beginning I was conditioned to be like, oh my god, what is happening here, right? And then all of a sudden, as I spend more time with this detective, I don't really, I get lost. The side story, no, what's gonna happen? Who, right? That's what I want to see. Shit, saying that out loud makes me feel like I'm the problem. Maybe I've seen too many bad, messed up horror movies. But still, when we get to the ending and that final 20 minutes, it does deliver. It does bring it on home. It hauls the mail. The ending is a twist that is awesome. It's the complete opposite of what I thought was going to happen, even though you can kind of tell it's building up to something. When it does show the effect, it's pretty satisfying. It's pretty good. This was a first time watch for me, and I gotta say, I had a pretty good time. Feed might just, cure the hankering you've been searching for.